But first, we welcome back the weight loss coach, Charles D'Angelo. Later on, we'll talk about some tips for staying on track during your work day. Here's one to whet your palate. Hey, Charles.
Hey, Ashley, thanks very much. One thing everyone can do today is start to eat strategically. That means have a game plan before you walk out the door in the morning with having eaten breakfast and having food scheduled to be eaten every 3 hours. By planning your day ahead of time, you close off the vulnerability of ever risking eating that junk food that your coworkers are bringing in. Stay tuned and we'll be right back after this.
Finally, it's part of the show you've been waiting for. The weight loss coach, Charles D'Angelo. Welcome back to the show. We're here to talk about getting healthy and staying healthy when we're around the office.
Without a pill.
Right. Thank you.
Absolutely.
All right. First, this is a huge problem at Channel 5 where there's free food everywhere. And I imagine this happens at a lot of places.
Absolutely. So many people are overwhelmed because the coworkers have a nice, good-hearted intention of bringing something in to improve morale, not knowing they're really derailing the efforts of their coworkers. So one thing people need to do, as we mentioned earlier, is have a game plan ahead of time. By strategizing and having foods planned to be eaten every 3 hours and having those there, bringing them from home is very, very helpful.
Okay, so what if you're sitting at a desk all day? What do you do? I mean,
There's one mistake. You don't have to sit all day. You can go out and go for a walk at lunchtime. I used to coach a lot of folks over at Merritt's here in town, and they would walk that ramp over Highway 44 back and forth through their lunch hour to make sure that they're getting activity. So you can really break up your day by getting up, and so many offices now have gyms. A buddy of mine works at Monsanto here in town, and they have a great facility that a lot of the employees will go down to and work in during their lunch break. So by breaking up your day, bringing the activity to the day, it really breaks up the monotony and makes it a lot more fun.
And okay, if you're like me, I can't get sweaty in the middle of my work day. I wouldn't be very cute at the last newscast, right? So where should you put your workout? At the beginning of the day, the end of the day?
I say schedule time that can't be interfered with. That's the one thing I tell all of my clients is that time after time, client after client says, well, Charles, I just can't make the time. And I say, look, we all have the same amount of hours in a day. Make it a time that's not going to be interfered with. So if it has to be the first thing in the morning when you wake up, right when you get out of bed and you jump on the treadmill, great. If it's after work, sometimes people find it more challenging to do it then because they're worn out from their day. Just make it a time that's not going to be interfered with, because if you can find an excuse, so many people do find an excuse, and having the right mindset about it is so important.
Do you have a good tip for when you get tired at 2 o'clock, or then you think it's hunger, you don't know what to do to pick yourself up?
It's funny, when people aren't eating a schedule of foods, they find themselves hungry and they find themselves tired. But when you eat every 3 hours and you start out with a real nourishing breakfast and you make sure that the foods you're eating are nutritive and they're not things that are pulling energy from you, so many people reach for caffeine, right? But it's that short fix and it doesn't last long. When you're eating real food every couple of hours, you don't have that energy problem. So have a nutritive plan of foods, make exercise a priority, and have the right mindset, and you can make your goals a reality.
Thanks, Charles.
My pleasure.
Thanks for joining us tonight for STL Now on ABC 30, powered by News Channel 5. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Sweet dreams.